it going? I want to take you through an unboxing today. I recently placed an order with a private grower down in Florida for a couple of houseplants that she had that I was interested in, mostly orchids. She really kind of specializes in orchids and Rhipsalis. And I wanted to do an unboxing with you, take you through what I ordered. I also put together some notes in terms of the care of the plant and show you guys what's in the box. So without further ado, let's get started. So I have ordered from Angelica before, and she is always very reliable in terms of what she sends out, and you can just tell by her packaging how much she really cares about her plants and how much care she takes when wrapping them and sending them out to her customers. So I really always love receiving the orders from her. Alright, so this, of course, first thing I opened, she sent me a little freebie, which is always so great to get. So this looks like a philodendron. I don't know exactly what variety, but I'm assuming it is some sort of, well, I know it's a philodendron. I just don't know what variety it is. But look at these gorgeous chartreuse leaves. She has it nicely packaged in wet paper towel to make sure that the root system still stays nice and good. This looks awesome. So this next one is a Mandula Pothos. So this was part of my order. Nice healthy one. I have a hard time getting these where I am. I don't know if you guys can get them. I know in some places they're quite common. I can't seem to get them anywhere locally. So I ended up placing an order from her. It is a Pothos. They are very, very easy to take care of. This one needs a little bit more light than your typical Pothos, because otherwise they'll start, that beautiful variegation that you see will start disappearing. They have a beautiful leaf structure, very, very healthy specimen. Now this one is a Dendrobium. So Dendrobiums are part of the orchid. So I'm gonna read to you some facts about them, because I'm actually not that familiar with Dendrobiums or orchids, but they are absolutely gorgeous. I will also insert a picture so that you guys can see what they look like when they're in full bloom, because that really kind of what suckered me into purchasing this. But let me tell you a little bit about Dendrobium. So they are unscented. They are an epiphytic orchid, and if you guys know what that means, it means that they don't necessarily need a lot of medium to grow in. Basically what their roots do is they attach themselves to trees or other plant material, and that's really how they grow best. It is widespread across Southeast Asia from Sri Lanka to New Guinea, including Indochina, Indonesia, and the Philippines. Really, really beautiful. Like I said, I'll make sure to insert a picture of what it looks like when it's blooming. I know what this one is, so I'm going to save that one for last because I'm really excited about that one. This is a Rhipsalis. These are so cool in my opinion. Again, you don't come by these very often in my area. And this one in particular is called a Rhipsalis cruciformis. These are also known as jungle cactus, also an epiphytic plant. So like I said, their roots tend to grow on other living organisms such as trees. They like well-drained soil if they're kept as houseplants. They really want to be dried out between waterings to prevent root rot. These get root rot really easily. So that doesn't mean that you shouldn't water them, but you should let it completely go bone dry by the time that you give it water again. It prefers high humidity but can adapt to different kinds of temperatures inside the house, different climates inside the house. I have a couple of Rhipsalis. I love them. They don't grow much for me during the winter because my house is not very humid during the winter, but once I move them outside for their summer vacation, they really start growing and put on nice new growth. But this one is a new one for me. They get some curl in their leaves. They're almost like a three-dimensional leaf structure. Very cool. And then the last one, this one's heavy. So this one is also part of the orchid family. She sent this to me with the pot. I mean, it covers my entire head. Actually, it covers all of me. This thing is huge. It's awesome. So this is actually a Maxillaria, but a Maxillaria is also a type of orchid. They are commonly known as spider orchids or flame orchids or tiger orchids. So those are the common names for them. Delicate leaf structure. You can see it almost kind of has like a grassy kind of texture, and it grows natively in Mexico and Nicaragua and even parts of Costa Rica. It says they are easy to grow if kept moist. We will see. I'll let you know. But they do need like a highlight, so making sure that it's near a window, not direct sunlight, but making sure that it's near a window, and it recommends for it to be a north-facing window so that it's not getting really strong sun. Again, I'll put a picture of what the blooms look like on this one, because this one was the other one where I really got suckered in by the flowers. So with that, I'm going to pot up the Rhipsalis and the orchid, the Dendrobium that she had sent me. So if I look at how she grew this one, it looks like she just kind of stuck it in the terracotta pot. It doesn't look like there's a whole lot of medium in here. So if you can see, and that's really part of the epiphytic nature of this plant, it really just attaches itself to anything porous, and that's how it grows. So I'm probably going to do the same thing or something very similar with the Dendrobium, and then this Rhipsalis. If I had cactus soil, I probably would plant it in that. I don't, and I don't feel like running out to the garden center or Home Depot right now. So I'm just going to use what I have and maybe just make sure, put some extra orchid bark in there and make sure it's extra chunky for it, just to allow for that drainage to come through. So come along, I'll show you how I do that, and then that'll be it for today's video. All right, so we're back with our supplies. I have some orchid bark, some potting soil, and I have 3 different terracotta pots that I'm going to be placing these into. Now, while I was down behind the shed where I keep the majority of my house plants and things of that nature, I just wanted to show you guys this because I noticed that this, I think it's a Dendrobium. I know it's a type of orchid, but I always get very confused between Dendrobiums and Maxillaria. So please correct me if somebody knows that I'm saying it incorrectly. But this is one of the orchids that I had ordered from Angelica the last time I had placed an order from her, and I noticed that it's blooming, and this is what the bloom looks like, and I just think that it is so cool for nature to be able to create such a, I mean, the colors are just, and the pattern on it, the colors and the pattern, it's absolutely amazing to me that is what it looks like. So anyway, with that, let's get started in potting up. The Pothos has already come in a pot, and the Maxillaria has already come in a pot. So the only things that we need to pot up are the Rhipsalis, the Philodendron, and the Dendrobium. So let's start with the Dendrobium. So the way I had potted this up when it had shipped to me, and it seems to be working based off the fact that it's blooming, is just by sticking some cocoa coir in this terracotta pot. So I figured, since it seems to be happy in that medium and she didn't seem to have any medium going on in what she had sent me of her own, and she does a fantastic job in growing these, I'm going to stick to what seems to be working. So I have a piece of cocoa coir. I have this pot with drainage holes all along the side of it to let the roots breathe. And I am literally just going to pull this apart to almost create like a little bit of a nest. Do that, and just stick and nestle these roots in and give it a good pep talk, because northern New Jersey is nothing like Florida. So I hope you do well in there, little guy. Okay, and we're gonna water her. Then we will do the philodendron. Nice healthy root system, no root rot, nothing's mushy. Stick her in here. And Press that soil down. Tap it in to make sure there's no air pockets. There we go. There's our little philodendron. And last but not least, this guy. Now, normally I would say that this pot size is a little too wide for this Rhipsalis. They do tend to like to be in smaller pots. It's nice and shallow. And the reason why it's important to choose the right pot size is because otherwise you do run the risk of root rot if the pot is too big. The reason why I'm okay with leaving it this size right now, one, it's a terracotta pot, which means that it does allow the water to, it's very porous, so it allows the water to seep out, unlike a plastic pot, which stays wet a lot longer. And two, I know me, and I know how I treat my houseplants, especially throughout the winter, that I let them get bone dry. So I think that this will do just fine in here. And like I said, I'll even mix a little bit of orchid bark just to make extra sure that the water seeps through and doesn't hold on to moisture too long, causing this to root rot. So again, another beautiful healthy root system. Now she uses these little leca balls. If those are readily available in your area, great. I do have some of those sometimes around. I don't have them on me right now. They are a great way to make your soil a little bit more chunky, but since I don't have that, I'm going to use the next best thing, which is, like I said, the orchid bark, but many different options out there. So what I'm going to do is dump a little regular soil out, take some of the orchid bark that I have, mix it in, and then dump it straight in to the pot, making sure that the plant is centered so that it's not cockeye. All right, now let's water these guys in and get them situated in a new home. I do think, knowing that these plants came from Florida, and knowing that tonight, or last night was the first night that it actually dipped below 50. Even though our days are quite warm, I'm not going to put them outside. They're used to really warm temps still, and they just shipped up here from down south. It would be too much of a shock for them to then just kind of be thrown outside. So I am going to put them inside near a window. All right. All right, guys, so here is their spot for now. tons of sun right by my coffee bar. I'm probably going to zhuzh this Pothos a little bit because it's a little floppy. Nothing's wrong with it, but just to make it look a little bit more upright. So I put some there, and the Rhipsalis. I have put over in this corner. Not as much light, but I think it'll be okay enough. I'll probably get that table raised a little bit, or find a taller table for it. So yeah, so that's where they're gonna stay. I'll give you guys an update on their progress as the winter months progress. And that's all we have for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and hopefully you guys like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.